See, us yellows can do things on time, right? All right, guys, so welcome to our One Team University call. And for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. This has been such a blast. We are coming from all over the world. So if you have your chat box, I would love for you guys to post where you're coming from. Go ahead and share where you're at so we can see where everybody's calling in from. Zoom has been so fun because we're all just best friends. We can see each other, and I hope that you guys use this as an opportunity to link arms with other people all across the globe, right? So when you see people that pop up that are in an area close to you, make sure you friend them and let's work together so that we can have more energy and more fun, okay? Everybody good on that? Raise your hand, say aye. Awesome. So the purpose behind our calls is we are bringing leaders from all over the world together to start training each other and to share our personal messages with other teams. And how powerful is that, right? So I'm so appreciative of everyone that's joined us so far. And if you have any, you want to train, you have a message you want to share, please message me. There's no reason why you can't be a part of this. So thank you guys for showing up. I hope that you're all in a place that is the least amount of distraction as possible, because tonight we're going to be talking about a really, really important part of our business, and that is social media and branding. And raise your hand if you have any fears of social media, or if you don't know what you're doing, or you have questions, or you know that you can improve it a little bit, right? I'm only seeing a few hands. So everybody's pretty good? Oh, there we go. Good. All right. So we have Cory Kinnear on the call tonight, and I have been so excited. Crazy excited, guys, about this call. Ever since NYKO, I've been excited about tonight's call because she kind of blew us all the way on stage at NYKO. And who was there? Raise your hand if you were at NYKO. You saw her speak. Yeah, she was real, authentic, funny, right? All the things that we can be on social media. So tonight she's going to be talking about just some things that we can do. And so I hope you guys really, really take in what she has to offer. And like I said, please answer or ask your questions so that we can help everybody. All right? Okay. Well, with that, Cory, I want you to share your story. I want to make sure that you share a little bit of your background, like how you got started, and because everybody wants to hear. Everybody wants to hear a little bit about you. All right?
Absolutely. But
all right,
Trisha,
girl.
First, I want to thank you for asking me to even do this. And no, I'm not related to Greg Kinnear, so please don't listen to David Norrie. He has to bust my chops instantly. But we do have the same humor, I guess. My story. So yes, thank you for letting me on. Thank you guys for even listening and tuning in. This is really awesome. And the lineup of what Trisha has got you guys listening to is amazing. So that first round with Harder, and I guess that guy Norrie did pretty well, and I got to bust his chops back. But so it's bath time, so he can't get back at me yet. But so here's my story. So this is going to be the raw and real version because that's kind of how I'm doing it, right? So I started using the products in May of 2012. And in that time, I wanted nothing to do with the business. I know everyone says this, but I didn't want anything to do with the business. Oh, he's walking around. He sees me. I want nothing to do with the business. And I honestly didn't think the products were going to, I was very skeptical. I didn't think they were going to do what they did for me, which was, for me, I had just had my daughter. She was about 9 months old, and I was living off coffee and Red Bull. And I mean, any parent out there knows you get zero sleep. I don't know how we function, right? So, and very little time for your own self to nourish yourself. So if you're not right, your kids aren't right. And I remember feeding my daughter and falling asleep, in between feedings, and the bottle would like fall on her cheek. And I'd be like, all right, yeah, I got to change something here because she's trying to, get the bottle and I'm totally like sleeping. And that wasn't really cool. Right. So I tried the products, and instantly within a couple of days for me, I felt the difference. I mean, everyone's experience is different. I'm going to be compliant, right? So for me, it was like 4 days in, and I came in with the dreaded 9-day. Right? So I came in with a 9-day because I wasn't really educated on the different packs. So when I came in, by the 4th day, I'm like, oh my God, like this is going to run out. Like, what am I going to do? So I had to order more stuff. And then I thought to myself, if I ever did share this, I wouldn't not do a disservice to other people to let them know what other packs there are, right? So because I felt like I was spending a little extra, right? Because I'm ordering more products. I didn't actually start the business until late August of that year. People would come up to me and ask what I was doing. I just said, oh, I'm just eating healthier, or, I just, learned to cut back on my coffee. And people at work knew something was up because I would drink these, like get those ginormous coffee mugs and fill them up like 3 times. And then do the same when I got home with my daughter. I would get the sugar-free Red Bull because I thought that was better for me, right? So I was like, oh, I'm making the healthier choice out of these 2 ridiculous things. So I shared it with 2 people, and then it started to get where people were asking me about it. But again, I wasn't really sure. I had 0 network marketing experience, no idea what I was doing. And I said, all right, this is what you do. And I signed some people up. It wasn't until I got on Facebook where I really, my voice just really started to come out about these products. And the cool thing is that I want everyone to understand that when you're doing this, no matter where you are in this business, you have to find your own voice, whether you're speaking, right, and communicating with people, or you're doing it through social media. For me, I always talk about, I look at Lynn Hagedorn, who rose to millionaire so quickly. And, in the beginning, I didn't realize she had come from another company. And there's a lot of us that compare our success or where we are to other people. And you have to understand, for me, right off the bat, I ran my brother's cover band on Facebook for quite a while. So I sort of figured out what would be the best times when my brother would play on a weekend, right? I wouldn't post it on a Monday night that he's playing here on Saturday night, because on Monday night, no one's really looking at what they're doing for the weekend. So I figured out there's certain niche times where people would be looking for certain things. And what are those times? And I also figured out not to be so lengthy when I was explaining where I'd be like, where he is, what's going on, and I would get more responses. But that took time to figure out. So this was before you can just Google algorithm of Facebook. This was, years ago. So I took what I already knew with that and applied it here. So I'm saying this because I don't want you guys to get down on if you don't understand or what to post or how to post, unless you already did something else like this, right? So it's the same thing with everything else. And so you take everything in stride, you look at whatever anyone else is doing. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about what you're doing and what you're learning. So, and just know that there's always a backstory to maybe how someone rose a little bit quicker than somebody else, okay? So with that, I started building the business, and within 9 months, I hit 5-star. And after that, in between that, I got a divorce. So there was an excuse I could have used to stop my business. It actually made me drive even harder. My daughter was diagnosed on the autistic spectrum. At the time, I was still working, but I decided in January that from August to January, I nearly supplemented my income to the point where I knew if I put all of my time into what I need to learn and the tools that I need, and just do what I need to do and what's required to really share what I love, because I ended up obviously falling in love with the products. That's number one. If you don't love the products, it's just going to come across when you're trying to communicate them. And I remember thinking when I was first signing people up, some people just wanted that quick fix and get off. And I'll get back to this because I'm sure there's questions about how do you find business builders. Everyone always asks that. Those quick fix people, I just let them do their quick fix and move on. I'm not going to lie, in the beginning, there was times where I was trying to tug them and say, no, I'll help you and I'll sign up people and help you do this and that. And then I had to really let go of that. And when I did that in December of that first year, I signed up 37 people. And I say that not for like, oh, that's wonderful type of thing. I say that because with no network marketing experience, and the only thing that I had to drive me was wanting to be home with my daughter, who needed me at the time, and, you know, being able to utilize social media the way that I did. That's what I did. I didn't go door to door. I didn't go belly to belly. I know a lot of you guys do that. I do that now, not the door to door part, but that would be creepy. But I do go, you know, belly to belly, like, you know, what we learn face to face, and make sure we make connections. So I grew to 5-star. But what's funny about that is and Tracy always says this, with tremendous growth comes tremendous responsibility. And I didn't realize personally the personal growth that would have to go into this business. So for me, I was like, all right, I'm 5-star. I didn't even know, you know, I'm like, yay, you know, I wasn't even realizing the impact I was having on other people, other than I really genuinely cared about what my cleansers were doing and what my clients were doing and how good they were feeling. So what I started to do was really getting into how to drive people and teach my team, as I was growing a team, how did I do that on Facebook? So I kept it as limited as possible. And my first ever post, I think I said something just as simply as, you know, I made a change in my lifestyle that I'm so excited about, and I feel so amazing. And I made sure that I always use a feeling. And I also always made sure that I used an analogy with the feeling. So for me at the time, it was, I remember being, you know, exhausted with my daughter. And now, you know, only a couple of days in, I feel a tremendous difference. I always stay compliant, but then I stopped. I never named what it was. I never said, you know, so that people would have to say, okay, what are you doing? What is it? And I would love when they would do the comments under my post, because I would leave it there. And I would say, I'll inbox you or I'll message you. And then the other people would say, well, make sure you message me too. And it started to come that naturally. But I also didn't make because remember, now you have people that are following you from day one, before you hit Isogenics, before you even came in here. So if you were sarcastic, if you were a wise ass, if you were somebody who posted here and there very sporadically, if you were somebody who rarely used Facebook, if you maybe just shared, you know, whatever, you just shared from other pages, you have to understand that when you're starting a business and you want to bring people in, you can't just immediately do all isogenic stuff, because they're going to block you. They're going to go, okay, this person just went on a really weird cult training or something, and they're trying to bring me in, and I'm just getting flooded with stuff I don't understand. So I'm going to block her. So I wanted to make sure that I still stayed with what I would normally do on Facebook, but a little bit more consistently, which we have the 10-4-1 that you guys know about. I mean, it's been trained on. So I didn't use 10-4-1. I used more 20, and I said that at New Year's kickoff. I used more 20, 15 and 5. I just made sure that I was a presence on Facebook, other than just with the nutritional program that I was using. I never called it, in the beginning I called it a cleanse, and then I quickly changed that. I took out the word cleanse because I realized I was scaring people when I said that, because people really automatically thought they're going to be in the bathroom, and you know, that's not what this is about, right? We know what it's about, but people were perceiving it that way. So I started to change my wording. And what's amazing about social media, and now even with just creating the curiosity is everything. That part in 2012 to 2013, they didn't have the live feed, which they have now, which I'll talk about a little bit later, how amazing that's transforming everything. So for those of you that are afraid to go on live feed, we're going to try to bust through and break down and break through your fear of getting on video, because it's really not a big deal. Like right now, I know I'm looking at Angelique and with the baby, and like I'm like trying to be focused here, and I just want to give her a big hug and jump in there, but because she's adorable, right? But I have to focus here. So I'm pulling a squirrel. I'm like I'm doing squirrel. So with Facebook, what did I do? What was it? What were the components that I was making sure that I was staying consistent with? Well, posting times. For me, it was 8:00 in the morning, East Coast time. I know you guys are all different times, so you might not see my stuff until 11. But you want to get up, you want to take a minute, you want to think about something. I know there's buffer, there's ways to already program your posts. For me personally, I didn't like to do that. That doesn't mean don't do that. That's not what I'm saying. A lot of you are busy. A lot of you are running off to work. If you can plan your posts ahead of time, that's great. I liked to talk off the cuff because I didn't know what I was feeling that day. So when I woke up, I might have wanted to start with a joke. I might have wanted to, I might have saw something really funny and I didn't want to make it motivational at that time, or, things like that. And then I got into hashtags. Hashtags are super, super important. And a lot of you use them, some of you don't. I'm going to say that catapulted my business probably 2 ranks after my divorce by just using hashtags. And I say that after my divorce because through all of that, you can still do this business. Everyone says you can do it in the pockets of your time, but there's so many things that we can make excuses on. So when someone's having a major problem personally, you can still drive and fill your soul with doing what you need to do here, right? Which what Isagenix provided me. So for me, being able to share what I could with what I was going through, not to a T. I'm not telling you guys to spill your entire, personal life on Facebook. That's not what's going to get people in. But what will get people in is you being you. So what I mean by that is if you always have to be yourself. That's like one of the most important things. So as I said before, I had some people on my team that I know when I would watch their posts, they're sarcastic or they're always doing these wise ass, posts. And all of a sudden they got into Isagenix and they felt they couldn't do that anymore. So people actually thought they got hacked. That, they're like, who is this person? Why is this person posting like all serious now? And everything's like, because it's not that serious, right? But we do have a message and a movement that we do want to share that is super important, but at the same time, you can make it fun. It doesn't have to be this long, big, elaborate thing. It doesn't have to say how much calories or how much, you don't have to get into all that stuff. You just have to get into a feeling. And when you're conveying a feeling across Facebook, people start to know who you are, right? Whether they're following you or whether they actually know you, they just start to feel like they know you better. A lot of our relationships, as Trisha said, we're from all over the place, right? So right now, you guys don't know me personally, but you're getting to know me right this second. And that's the beauty of what social media provides for us. So the best thing I did, one of the trainings, and I was trying to keep Trisha a nice flow here for you, because sometimes I have these thoughts and they go all over the place, but in a good way. So I tried to keep a flow. So I pulled up what I did at Celebration, and what I did was I talked about building an empire. And when I first started this business and I realized, wow, I looked at the comp plan, I was like, this is something that anybody can do. There's nothing that I need other than communication skills, right, to do this business. And we already know how to speak. We just have to learn how to speak a little bit better and a little bit more passionate and a little bit, and even have that come through in words on typing. So what I first suggest you guys do, and I don't talk about this a lot, but when you're typing or you're texting somebody, you have to understand when people don't immediately inquire and you're like, well, why do they like my Jake from State Farm post? Because I have that post that I say, who is this Jake from State Farm, which made me laugh. I got like all these likes from that. And then I post something about the business, or I post something about a teammate that I'm celebrating, and only Isagenix people liked it. And I used to be in the beginning, I'd be like, oh, Stan, this was a pretty awesome post. Like, look at this person. And a lot of you take that personally. And you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be posting about I'm doing it wrong or whatever. Just know that the next post that you do that maybe has nothing to do with it, if you're getting likes, you're being followed. It's plain and simple, right? They might not be liking the business part or the product part because they're still trying to understand it or get a feel for what you're trying to convey. but that doesn't mean that they're not there. I have people from when I started 3.5 years ago that are messaging me now saying, okay, now I'm ready, because they had to watch me for 3.5 years, right? Or they weren't ready emotionally. And sometimes when we write, I don't know about you, but I've been in text conversations where people misconstrue what I'm saying through words because they're only hearing it, they're reading it back in their voice. So when you're constructing your post, some of the things that I can give you, some tips, it doesn't have to be super long, right? If you feel like you want to do a super long post, you might lose some people, but that's okay. If someone's been following you and they're like, all right, you know what? And sometimes I start at the part with really long post, I apologize, but this is important. And people might read it, right? But most of the time I keep it as short as possible, because our attention span, let's face it, even now, you might be like, okay, trying to wander off and do something else because I'm talking for a while. Hashtags. People are drawn to hashtags more than they are to your status. When I started doing hashtags, I would find that people would try to figure out my hashtags more than my status, and then they would read my status to see why I'm hashtagging what I'm hashtagging. Some people are like, well, how do you know what to hashtag? There are some things that are simple. There are some things that you want to create a brand for yourself. You want to use a hashtag that is specific to you, that you feel that you always just throw in there. Because eventually what happens is when you click on a hashtag on Facebook, it takes you to a whole other category of that hashtag. I also suggest checking out the trending section. Like right now for me, right, it's the NHL, for everyone, it's the NHL playoffs. I'm a sports person. Kobe Bryant's last game is coming up. So Kobe will be hashtagging this evening. So if you guys are up, I mean, for me, it'll be 11 o'clock over here, but I'll probably miss my audience, but I'll hashtag something with Kobe in it like I did earlier today, because I know when they click on Kobe, they're going to see something about me randomly. And they'll be like, how did I get here? And then what do you do on Facebook? Always, right? You end up clicking on somebody's picture and you're like, oh, what is that? I think I know that person. You click there. And now you end up on Susie's aunt's friend's page about cats. You have no idea how you got there, but there was a trail or a funnel that got you there. So you want to be the person that they end up getting to. So if there's other different ways, is someone talking? You want to say something? Oh, I just heard somebody say something.
Cory.
Yes.
Cory, can you just spend a minute kind of explaining what trending is? Because I know we have people that are lost right now.
Sure. Okay. If you go to Facebook, not right now. I don't know if you can simultaneously if you have a different computer. So on the screen, right? If you're on your main page, okay, not your wall, you don't have to be on your wall. You can just sign into Facebook. On the side, you'll see what's trending. And there's a little section there that says trending. And what that is it's in blue. There'll be a little hashtag, and it'll say what topics are most being talked about on Facebook in that minute, in that day, today, in that morning. And there's also, if you click, there will be like government, there's sports, there's other little categories within the trending category. If I can show you, maybe I can log into Facebook over here and I can flip it around. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. That might be better, right? Idea, Trish?
I can share a screenshot.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to flip this. I think you can. Okay. So tell me if you can see. Can you see? I have this right here. Here she is. Can you guys see it? Where I am?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Yep.
So here I am. I'm on my main screen, right? So I click on home. Here I am. Right here is where trending is. So right here, these little squiggly lines, that's what's trending around me. So if I do see more, there's everything that's trending. Cool thing about this is these are the top trends that's going on right now. So if you want to incorporate these hashtags within your post, you're then going, if I hashtag Brooklyn, New York, I'm going to click on Brooklyn. They're going to show all this stuff, but then all of a sudden I'm in here. So now I just put myself in a whole different category than just regular newsfeed. Okay? If you go back to home, here's sports. See this little icons here? There's sports, there's entertainment, there's science and technology, there's politics. You kind of want to stay away from politics because you don't want to really turn anyone off really, but if you don't really care and you want to just voice your opinion here, Kobe Bryant, see? So he's going to be trending because this is going to be his last game of his career. So in some way or form, I'm going to create some sort of post that's going to reflect Kobe Bryant and something about my nutritional program and how, I don't know, this 20-year career of his probably could have lasted longer if I could have signed him up or something like that. I don't know. I'll make up some kind of joke or do something. But then when they click on Kobe, they're going to see all that, and then they'll see my status. Here's somebody, for example, right? They have Kobe in here. I don't know what this is. It's half in Spanish, but whatever. So you guys understand what I'm talking about now with trending? So that's something you want to look at. I look at that every day. Every day I go over there and I say, okay, what's being talked about? I stay away from stuff that are controversial or a little bit, obviously sad. I'm not going to hashtag a sad event. But these are ways to funnel yourself in a whole different category. This is just another amazing tool that Facebook is now using so that as we scroll through, here I am. I don't know why Justin Bieber's trending at the moment on my side. I don't know what you guys see, but that's just an example. So every day you check that. If it fits in your status, that's cool. It doesn't really have to. If it doesn't, hashtag it. If you're not a big basketball fan, but Kobe Bryant's, right now being the most talked about, I'm going to hashtag him. After this call, I'll probably say to do amazing call, and all of a sudden hashtag Kobe Bryant. People are going to be like, what the heck? What does he have to do with it? But it doesn't matter because people are going to click on that, and then they're going to see I'm talking about some amazing call that I just had with inspiring leaders and whatever it is that I'm saying. And that, again, what happens with Facebook, with the normal average person who's not going on there to work, right? Because we're using this as a business model, as a tool to grow our business. So we're going on there with a purpose. People that are going on there just to look around, that's why I said they end up on their aunts, friends, sisters, cousins. All of a sudden you're looking at pictures of somebody's wedding and you don't even know anybody, but you're just like, oh, let me check out this wedding, because you're just lost in Facebook. This is just a way to redirect them back. So I use the term empire because in my head, when I started this business and it really started to take off, I said, you know what? I'm going to treat this as an empire from day one. What are the steps that I can take? How can I use social media to the best of my advantage to grow my empire, not just to waste time hanging out on Facebook? So my first thing, my E for empire is empower. So for me, I want to empower you and others around me to give everyone permission to grow. So that will be sort of my motivational posts or my empowering posts. I might hashtag empower or empower others. I usually hashtag the team name. I've been hashtagging one team. If I'm at an event and I'm in a different city, I always hashtag that, right? We were hashtagging New Year's Kickoff 2016. That was actually trending for a while on Instagram because people were doing that call to action, which was pretty awesome. I hashtag Raw and Real because I'm doing the Raw and Real tour. I know you guys really should be hashtagging, and I can start doing that. The Together, Strong Pro. That should be a hashtag because people are gonna be like, what is that? What does that even mean? And then all of a sudden they'll click there and they have all these different people that linked arms and are talking about it. But even if it's not that you're talking about it, you're just mentioning it in a hashtag, you're seeing all of these people and somebody's going to go, what the heck is that about? Like, what is it? What are these leaders doing? What are these people doing? So it's, again, creating that curiosity for somebody to have to inbox you and say, okay, what is this Together Strong Pro that you're doing? What does this hashtag mean? I can't tell you how many people have asked me what a hashtag means, and then I get into the communication conversation with them. And then that starts a communication back and forth. The M that I use in empire is mastering your intent of who, what, and why. So what audience do you want to hit? Why do you want to hit this audience? And what are you going to say? That's really all you need to do. It could be 3 sentences. It could be 4. It could be a picture. Pictures are very powerful with your status because people will look at your pictures first. Video, super powerful. Facebook Live, I'm going to dive into real quick right now. Changing the game changer. If you guys don't have that little icon, you can do it from your phone. It's that little icon that looks like a little radio thing around it, like a rainbow. Wherever you are and you feel like you want to just get online and do that and share your heart or share your moment, people are going to tune in. You want to try to keep it short if you're fairly new to doing it. If you have a big following, you can go on because people can ask you questions. But again, don't feel silly if you're starting the video and like one person is on. Just talk. Just talk about what's on your heart. Talk about how you're feeling. Talk about what are you going to do for the day. Talk about your intent for the day if you're doing it in the morning. At night, talk about what you're grateful that you accomplished. Always be positive. But that draws people in and they start to follow you. And they start to want to hear what you're saying. And the cool thing is you can fast forward and rewind on there, right? So if I'm going, hello, like this is really cute. I'm just going to do, some people do this. Right? Hello? Is anyone in there? And they're on live feed and they don't realize it. And they're like, hello? Okay, I'll just wait for somebody. And they're just sitting like this. This is all you see is like their head. Okay, so if you do that, that's a first timer. All right, realize back up. It's okay that people can see back here, right? Just speak with purpose and intent and share. You can now, which is awesome, which is just released actually this, I think last week, you can now Facebook live feed in groups. So if you have your team group, like here, Trisha can now live feed inside the group instead of making a video and uploading it. You can actually live feed right in here, which is awesome. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know that, but that's a game changer for me. So I can just jump into my team group and I can jump into I have also a product group, right, where people are getting support for that. And I can jump in there and say, I'm going to do a Q&A on a cleanse day. Does anyone have any questions? This, again, is giving me the power to facilitate communication and coaching people without actually having to get on the phone with every single one. And let's be honest, a lot of people, when they start this program, if they don't know you very well, they're a little apprehensive of, really asking a question. Some coaches, we start them out, we get them going, we brought them in through Facebook or wherever we brought them in from, and we communicate and we get to know them. My favorite thing about Facebook is to be able, while I'm talking to a prospect, to pull up their profile, and I am in private investigating their whole page. And I don't try to freak them out. I'm like, oh, I think I just found you on Facebook. Do you have 2 children? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, that's not creepy. I just kind of saw you. They're beautiful. Then we start a conversation. So it doesn't jump right into isogenics. Now I'm having a conversation with somebody. The P that I have in Empire, I don't have to pee. That's the P in Empire. Well, we do because we drink a lot of water, but that's a side note. The P is positive posting practices. So again, you want to do posts that are somewhat related to isogenics, but not completely. The reason that I'm able to go to the gym, the reason that I'm able to, kick it up a notch is because of the AMP line. So I'll hashtag amped, but I won't say isogenics AMP line is what really, especially if you're first starting out. If you've been in the business for a while, people kind of figure out what you do, but I still don't post that because not everybody sees it. And people that are following you still don't know. They still have no idea. Some people, right? The E, what was the E? Somebody asked what was the E. The E was empowering people. The Facebook Live icon will be on your phones. It won't be on your computers. It'll be on your phones. If you don't have it, it'll get to you at some point. So you want to post about your personality. Like I said earlier, you don't want to become an ISA robot. That's the last thing you want to do. Like I said, a lot of people will start posting about isogenics, and even if they don't mention isogenics, it's every day, my nutritional program. It gets like, okay, like it's like one of those chatty Cathy dolls, which I just saw Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, so that's in my head where it's like, that scene with John Candy. I don't know, people are looking at me like I have no idea. Okay, yeah, Trisha knows what I'm talking about. Okay, when he was, just Steve Martin was like, shut up, you know? That's what I feel like when people just keep posting about the same thing. So the Rangers are on right now. The playoffs are on. I know they're losing, but if I constantly was posting about the Rangers, you'd be like, Cory, chill. Yeah, we get it. You're a Rangers fan. I got it. So you've got to think about what people want to see and what would entice people to want to continue to stay following you. What is it that you can bring to the table that someone else can't bring? Now, for those of you that say, I don't know what that is, it's you. Plain and simple. There is no other you. There's no other you. So first and foremost on anything that we're doing in business and social media is to believe in yourself. We believe in the products, but we have to believe in ourselves. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to get very far. I'll be honest. I mean, that's what I believe, right? If I didn't believe in myself to open my voice through social media, even if I'm practicing and trying to learn from somebody who's skilled at posting, and I'm just taking kind of what they're doing and using my own words, I'm showing belief in myself. Okay, I'm giving that positive post, that post that somebody's going to go, I can relate to that. Oh my God, that happened to me today, or whatever it is. So that's the piece. So there's posting your personality. There's prime posting times. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but mostly prime posting times for me, because we're all over different time zones. Start Your Life. I always mention this. Start Your Life group. You know, they work, it's different hours, right? So I know a couple of my Start Your Lifers that were like, okay, at 8 o'clock I'm supposed to post in the morning, but they're not up. And it's not that they're sleeping in because they're being bums. They probably were working until like 4 in the morning. And Start Your Lifers, 18 to 35, okay, let's say 18 to 20, 25, 20, you know, like 22, 20, their prime time might be 4 p.m., right? So if you're a Start Your Life person, the 8 o'clock might not apply to you. Now, do we want you to rise and grind, right? Hashtag rise and grind. Yeah. But if you're not going to, if that's not how you're going to roll, that's okay. Because everyone is going to build their business differently at different times. But prime posting times are good. Sunday nights are my biggest, were always my biggest times to post. Sunday nights are that sick feeling that people get before Monday morning when they don't want to go to work, or they're at a job that they're feeling like, oh, this is just exhausting. The moment Sunday at 12 came, I remember feeling 12 p.m. on a Sunday. Oh my God, Sunday's half over. I'm going to have to go to work tomorrow. I was already stressing about work before it even happened. I wasn't even there yet. I couldn't even enjoy a Sunday. So for me, prime posting time was Sunday night, because this is the time where the kids are in bed and you're unwinding. If you have children, right? You're unwinding, you're getting ready. You're probably sitting on Netflix. If there's an award show, I always say hashtag the award show. So people, because they're always on Facebook. Did you see what that girl's wearing? Even if it's nonsense, but you know what? I get in the conversation. And that's another thing. So you want to, I believe my other E is engage, which is at the end, but you want to engage in conversation on social media in comment form. The best thing to do is press reply. Because remember, we used to be able to comment and then just comment under the comment. Now we can reply under that specific comment. Well, when I do that, I tag the person and then I comment. If it's something about something that someone wore, to me or to that person, they're not working. To me, I am. Because I'm going to get you to have a conversation with me about this person. And then eventually we'll have more conversations. And you'll be in my Facebook, you'll be in my news feed more because I'm interacting with you more. So the algorithm of Facebook, the more people that you interact with, the more people that you see in your news feed, right? So I'm going to make sure that this person knows that I thought that dress, if they thought it was awesome, and I'm going to give my opinion. And we're going to talk about a dress first before I even get into what I do. Because remember, you have to be a communicator first before you can ever offer these products to anybody, because they have to trust you. They have to want to come to you. What are you going to offer that somebody else is going to offer? What is the difference? And like I said, the difference is you. So we start initially with our warm market, right? So it's the friends that we already have, which is why I want you guys to keep in mind when you're posting your warm market. They don't want to see Isagenix 24. They just don't. They want like the old Cory back. They didn't want, I wasn't going to post all this stuff. I'm a wise ass by nature. I like to joke around. So I had to make sure that I still kept that in, or else I would lose the people that were already following me because of that. So now, oh, I just saw Ella. Now there's, there's that aspect. So now we're communicating, but in a different way. I just want to say one thing about something that's really awesome. That back in the day, right, when Jimmy the Butcher Smith was doing this, and he was doing physical calls, which I think is amazing, right? Because he just blows everyone away. He's so inspiring, doing this from a butcher and then just doing this, and he's like doesn't ever have to worry about doing anything ever, but he's still at all the events. What's so powerful about the world that we live in today is that no matter what age you are, if you get the simple basic tools about social media, you are now in a world where technology rules everything. That I could literally be here with you, or talking in Australia, or talking to someone globally somewhere else, and pushing my product the right way. Where back in the day they could not do this. So for entrepreneurs right now, it doesn't matter if you're 18, if you're 40, if you're 60, if you're 75, if you can learn how to do a couple of posts on Facebook and draw those people in, this is the time to be an entrepreneur. It's never been better to be able to go globally across this entire world just by looking in this little cube here, just by me talking, right? Just by me making a post. Instagram. I use Instagram. I use Facebook. I use Periscope. I kind of kicked on to Facebook Live a little more because they started to have everyone going into the groups now, which I like. And I do love that there's, that people can follow me and interact that way, because obviously they adopted that from Periscope. Twitter, I'm on there. Twitter, I don't get much action on, but it helps. It connects to Periscope. But guys, this is the time of the rise of the entrepreneur. You have to understand how important social media is. So when you're hustling to do this business, a hustle can, with like, I'm looking at David and Angelique, right? So they've got the 2 kids, they're listening to me. They've got the hustle of knowing, okay, what am I going to post? What am I going to do? What intent am I going to give today? They can do that and operate an empire by looking into this little screen on their phone, right? Or on their laptop, run meetings, do a whole day's work without leaving their house. This is the rise of the entrepreneur. It doesn't matter your age. You just have to figure out a couple of things, a few things, right? Another one for R, relate. I know I skipped around my letters, but R, I do relate. So why would someone take interest in what you're doing? So what I like to do is, when I try to think of intent of what I'm posting, which is always an intent. There's always an intent behind what I do. I don't just post something. And the one thing I cannot stand, it's something called vague booking. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term, but it's when someone posts, oh my God, I can't believe it just happened. And then there's nothing after that. And then we're all supposed to go, oh, what happened to you? Those are just attention-seeking people. You don't want to be that vague. You want to create curiosity. There's a huge difference between that, And so when I want to relate, I can relate to being a single mom. I can relate to being, a mom running a business. I can relate to people with children of special needs. I can relate to people that go beast mode in the gym, right? Who am I going to connect with? Each of us can relate to someone in some way. So when I post something, I want to post it in a way where I keep it open enough that if someone's just starting out in the gym, or they're an expert at the gym, or, they're training for something, I don't make it specific to, I'm training for this, like something that's out of reach for someone that maybe just is trying to go to the gym. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to link our products in with my post somehow. You're always making sure that you're linking those two together in some form. It could be in a serious form, and it could be in a funny form. I don't know about you, but like I know a lot of people like to post when they open the canister, and it's like a win when you actually see the scooper right there instead of digging your hand in and like searching around. It's like a win that you open it up and you're like, yes, like it's right there. It's awesome. It's that feeling. So anybody that ever opened anything with powder understands that struggle, right? The struggle is real. That's what I do. Hashtag the struggle is real. If that thing's not on the top, it's like, oh, here we go. Now I'm searching, looking. I can't say how many clients have told me that there's no scooper in there. I'm like, you got to dig deeper, just like they said, dig deep, like hashtag dig deeper, and they find it. And they're like, oh, here it is. Like, I promise it's in there. But, those are things that people can relate to. Going out, I did a post. This was actually Nori related. They did a spin off of, do they have enough time to go to Home Depot? And I had an idea. It was so funny to me, right? But they incorporated running to Home Depot for their new home at the same time, but they have the fuel to do so because they have the simple, easy program that they get their nutrition and they're able to run out the door because they do have time for Home Depot, right? Because they don't have to worry about, this is just an example. You don't have to worry about making a big breakfast, right? Angelique could take care of the 2 kids and still have her nutrition in a matter of 30 seconds, right? The ease of this. Everybody understands that. 9 to 5ers, you wake up, you're on your way to work, you're commuting, you don't get the proper breakfast. Well, I have a solution for you. So I'm going to share that, right? These are little things that I'm going to share and drop hints about, but I'm still going to try to make it funny. So what I did off of their post, which was funny, is in Staten Island, there's a shopping mall that actually has Home Depot and Bed Bath & Beyond like next to each other, which is very rare, right? So I was standing on like a pole, and my post was, I'm pointing to both. I go, look, I have time for both. And I was able to eat in between these 2, right? I had my protein with me, but I have time for both. I did get yelled at. Someone told me to get off the pole because I was on this large pole, but whatever. I was like, look, it's important. I'm doing a marketing thing. This is important. So I was standing up there and I was like, I have time for both. But I got a lot of response for that because it was humorous. And then I did get people saying, okay, so what about this meal in between? What are you talking about? So you want to create that curiosity within something fun that you're doing. Think about it as if you're watching a reality show or somebody's looking through your blinds. And my mom is actually on here. She just reminded me of this. My mother likes to walk. When she would walk, she'd always like to walk dusk hour so that she can look in, people still have their blinds open. She's not a peeping Tom. That's not what I mean. But she likes to look to see where they put their furniture or what they did with, oh, that's a really pretty couch, or that plant looks really good there. And, and I would be like, I'd be talking to her, walking next to her, and she's still like slowly walking down the house that has the blinds just enough so you could see, because she's trying to, because where we live, there's a lot of homes that are set up exactly the same. So you want to see, well, how do they set up their TV? That's kind of how I think of Facebook. I think of my status as people getting a peek into what I'm doing, because you control that, right? You control how much do they actually see. So if I'm imagining my status as blinds, how much am I going to show you? I'll show you where the TV is, but you don't know what kind of TV I have, right? You can't see that much. So it's that same type of idea of connecting. There's like blowing up chat, Trisha. So I don't know if I'm missing something. Yeah, that is my mom. There she is. Donna Kinnear, that's her. Yes, that's my mom. So then the other thing is, the other E, where is that? I did the engage, I did the R, I did the I, the branding. Now, branding yourself is important, and that just simply means being consistent on Facebook or a social media outlet that you're comfortable with. Hashtagging a certain hashtag that people start to know, okay, this is where I'm going to go and I'm going to find Cory, right? And Cory's going to talk about this, or Cory's passionate about that. And as you go through this business, your brand starts to take its own toll. You don't have to sit and think and hurt your head, try to figure out, how do I brand myself? Because a lot of my teammates are like, well, I don't know how to brand myself. I'm like, but branding yourself is just simply sharing how you're feeling what you're doing, what your intent is, something positive, something funny. This is a brand. This is what you're doing. You're just not throwing Isogenics in everyone's faces. And if you guys notice, I'll either put Isogenics in a cup by itself, or I'll cover the name of my e-shot, and I'll be like, I just got out of a sick workout. Thank God for these little babies. And people don't know that it's Isogenics because I cover it, right? But they want to know what it is. Okay, what are you using? When the AMP line came out, I didn't say, I just hashtag amped, but I remember I had it on my, I don't know if you guys saw that post. I don't know if you were following me at that point, but it had first come out, and I had put the amped container on my arm. And all I wrote was, I'm so excited to take my workouts to the next level with this product. Didn't say what it was, didn't say who it was from, and got a ton of inboxes. Okay, now what's this? I got them in. They're in. My next step is to make sure that I'm, going to connect with them. And how do I do that? So there's people that ask me that question. I don't know if you want me to tackle that, Trisha, yes? So how do I do that? Oh, you want me to just go? Okay. So how do I do that? Well, first off, I want to talk about videoing for a second. And I did this on a team call a while ago, and it hit home for a lot of people. And it's, when you think about when you were younger, right? When you were a child, you're so excited. I mean, I look at my daughter, and she looks at the world in eyes of just infinite possibility, limitless, right? There's no impossible. My daughter thinks she can do everything. And trust me, she's proven that she can jump from tall buildings on a single bound, which scares the crap out of me, but she does it, right? So I'm like, oh, I bet she'll do it. And she lands like a cat. But she doesn't think of the fear. And as we grow up and as we go through our experiences, fear creeps in, doubt creeps in. All that stuff starts creeping in. So now you have a product that you know that works. You have leaders on this line that has proven that you can grow in this business, that you don't have to be a special type of person to do it. What you have to do, like I said, is be you. But if you're stopping yourself from being you, your social media is going to be affected by that, because you're not going to really put yourself into it. You might copy and paste somebody's before and after. You don't always want to do that, guys, because you want to know the story behind it, right? And when you copy and paste or you share, the worst thing you could do is share something. Write that down. Don't share anything. If your upline puts something, or your linked line, like I call Heartline, which is people I'm not financially linked to but are willing to help you, other leaders. If you press share, what you're simply doing is bringing them back to the other person's page, not your page, because now they're going to read the share. So they're going to go down and see more, and you just led them very nicely, without even realizing it, to the other person. So if you see somebody that has some content and you're like, wow, that's really awesome. Some people will message me and say, can I use it? Other people just use it. I mean, it's on social media, use it, right? If it's for this company, I don't mind, because it's helping everyone, because we're one team. But on the top, use your own words. If you are affected by a picture and you just press share, you're doing yourself a disservice, because now, again, you're bringing them back to me. So if you share a Cory Kinnear post, they're going to come find me, not you, because you're sharing from me. So take whatever that picture is, take it, own it, right? Put it back up on your status, and then change the top to what it affected you. What did you feel with this picture? What does it mean to you? Make it yours. Now, that's not stealing per se, right? Because we all use the same pictures and the same motivational things to get people going. Some people, I tag the pictures that says @Cory Kinnear, but even if that is up there, you're still wanting to share your feeling of what you're taking from that picture. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Just don't share people's stuff, because you're literally giving them somewhere else to go. So what I was talking about is right, sharing is lazy. Whoever wrote that, right, make it your own, absolutely. So it's a lazy way of not really caring. Oh, this is nice, I'll share this, and then I'm done for the day. You have to understand too that as we grow, and this is what I was talking about kind of in the beginning, I first came into this company and I was very driven because I'm very competitive. And I was very driven by rank and like making sure I hit these goals. And I was really hard on myself when I didn't. And when I did, and I got to where I got pretty quickly, I didn't know what the heck to do with it. But I will tell you this, that as we grow and as we move into this business, and if you're a consultant or if you're an associate or if you were director and you're not really director anymore, I hate that word when people say, I have to start all over again. You're not starting all over again because the clients that you brought in are still there with you. You still impacted lives. So you don't know if that one person is eventually going to turn around and say to you, hey, Cory, I've been using these products for a while. I know you talked a little bit about the business with me at one point. I'm ready now. That could be 2 years from now. So when people get down on themselves, like if my team says, oh, I got to start all over again. I was director. Now I'm down to manager. I feel like this. I feel like that. I'm like, go and review my team and just look at the people that you brought in. Look at their success. You're the catalyst for that. So be proud of that. Because the stars in the ranks are not as important as the people's lives that you're impacting and changing. And when you really wrap your head around that, all of a sudden the stars in the ranks start happening. I don't know if any other leaders on here can speak for that. But when you really let go of, oh, I have to hit this and then it'll mean something. Let go of that. You know, it's nice to be recognized, but that's not what's going to drive your business. You want to build a foundation. You want to build that communication. You want to master what you're doing on social media to the best that you can, because only your voice can matter. So I can't tell my mom what she should post. I can't say, Mom, write this, because that's not my mother's words. So people that are following her, it's not her words. I can't tell another teammate, yeah, you should write it this way. That's not how she speaks, right? So in the first E was empowering us to use our voice. So here was where I was going with fear and doubt. If you have to doubt anything, doubt your doubts. You got me? Doubt your doubts, because that's just made up crap that we've accumulated over the years of experiences that has happened to us. And we're thinking, okay, I'm going to post something and I don't look like, you know, the perfect person. I'm not a Lori Harder and an Angelique amazing body. You know what I'm saying? That's not what this company is about. This company is about impacting lives on so many different levels. And I think people get stuck on appearance and judgment. So they don't think when they're posting in social media, I might be able to actually affect somebody who's coffee driven all day long. Nobody thinks of that. Or healthy aging, or wealth creation, or you know how many people are afraid to talk about wealth creation? Because I don't want to say that I actually make money. But what you're doing is you're building a business and a legacy for your family. How you post that changes the game, right? You're not going to post, well, when you buy something from me, I get a referral from Isagenix. And that's something that is true. And I love when people say, well, you're just making money off of me. I'm like, actually, I'm not. Because if I told you to go see a movie like Deadpool, because I love Ryan Reynolds, if I told you to go see that and 20 people saw that, Ryan Reynolds isn't giving me a piece of that. So what we're doing is, another thing that you got to get out of your head, because you got to get out of your own way, is with social media, when you're posting, get out of your own way and think about the lives that you're impacting that you don't even know yet. Think about where you were before Isagenix, how you were feeling. And if somebody posts something like me, I remember feeling this way. And I can empathize with that person, or I can do a post that shows empathy, but then shows where I am now because I was here and now I'm here. Or I used to feel like, what? I used to feel like this, and then that wasn't me. I don't have two voices coming up. I used to feel like this, and now I feel like this. I usually give a situation. I always try to give an analogy or a situation, but I always put feeling into my post. It's always a feeling, because people relate to feelings. They don't relate to, the Crazy Eddie. That's what I think of, Crazy Eddie. When I see Isagenix all over the place, I just imagine crazy. I'm showing my age here, but I remember Crazy Eddie just screaming about TVs. I don't even know what the heck he was saying because he was screaming so loud at me. I tuned him out. And when you're doing your videos, I empower each of you. This is a challenge. I'm giving it to you. Call to action. Test it out. Even if you're just doing a, hey, I just wanted to check in with my Facebook peeps here. I'm on my way to work, or I'm on my way to the gym. And, I had a struggle even getting to the gym, but I'm doing it. Everybody goes through that. Share that. Because then that person's like, oh, she's actually a human being and gets what I'm getting. You have to be just as you are in person on social media. It's 11. Does anyone have any questions? Because I just kind of went all different ways. But my main point is you have to be yourself. Believe that what you have to say is important. Have intent. Think about why you're posting what you're posting, what audience you want to capture. Take out the word cleanse. This is my advice. This is what worked for me. I say nutritional program. I say my lifestyle change. I don't use the word cleanse because I don't want to scare people because they prejudge what that is if they don't know what isogenics is. I don't say isogenics because honestly, isogenics sounds like some kind of robot fueling system, right? It doesn't sound like food. And doubt your doubts. So when you're sitting there and you're afraid to press post, because a lot of you are, don't do that. Just doubt your doubts. Push it out. Take the fear. I love Angelique's motivational stuff that she says when she pours stuff off the heart because she rips it raw and real, and I love it, right? And that's how I am, raw and real. Like, it just will come out. And I didn't even give you half the raw and real stuff. I was being nice today. But I was trying to keep it PG, raw and real. But before and after pictures, wait, I can't see what that question is. Without your head is creepy, yes. Now, you remember that from New Year's kickoff, yes. Make sure that you have the whole person's head in. You know why? Because anyone could Google anything from anywhere and pretend that it was that person. We want to be authentic. We want to show who we are, what we do, what we represent. This culture, this community that we're in people think is a cult. Just put the "chur" at the end of it. How do you get them to understand it's called "chur"? So with intent, with power that you have, use your voice, be yourself always. And, just think about when you were a little kid and there was no impossibilities. It was limitless. That's what this is. That's what this age is. For entrepreneurs especially, this is a limitless way to reach so many people. So get out of your own way, get out of your own head, and just freaking post. Effing drop the post, get them feeling what you're feeling, and they're gonna get it. And if they don't like it and they like your funny stuff, that means they're following you. That means they're watching. And be consistent. Those are the main things that I could share with you guys. And I hope that was helpful. I feel like some of you are looking at me like, yeah, I don't know. But I like Zoom because some people are like really into it, and then some people are kind of like, So you don't know if you're not sure if you're really hitting them or not. But it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Guys, in your body language, let's let Cory know that you're hearing it and that you loved it. Come on, let's show it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much we have so many East Coasters, East Worlders that it's really late, and we so appreciate you guys being on this, supporting Cory, supporting what we're doing here. And I would just simply add that, getting on that skinny branch in social media can be very, very scary. It can be very scary to be authentic, especially when we live in a culture right now that is not authentic all the time, and that they are putting up that face, that perfection. And a lot of people are hiding. Yeah, a lot of people are hiding.
Somebody just asked if I ever post anything about a bad day. I do, but then I spin it at the end because I'm human too, right? So I'll spin it at the end with something, and thank you for asking this. I'm just going to add this real quick, Trisha, because this is important. Mm-hmm. If you're having a bad day and you want to talk about that in the beginning, spin it with something positive at the end, because now with the new emojis, if you're having a bad day and they like a little sad face, they're actually pushing you down in the algorithm because it's a negative post. It's considered a negative post. So make sure if you are telling the truth about something that was, not so great, you end it with something that, but I know the rest of the day is going to be better, or I'm going to change my mindset right now and I'm going to kick ass, so that the person is going to like it, love it, or laugh. Like, you want those emojicons, the emojis to come up that way. So don't ever leave it with a negative, because if they put a sad, it actually pushes you down. Mm-hmm. That's really important. I'm glad somebody mentioned that, because that's new to Facebook and people are thinking, oh, I'll put a sad, but don't put a sad. I mean, don't let them put a sad. Twist it so that they have to put something, positive. And it's funny, because one of my posts a while back was like, okay, now you have all these options and people are still liking. I'm like, I feel like I'm not getting enough love here. Like, come on, you got the love button. I love button on everybody. I'm like, love button, love button, love button. So it makes me feel like a little like don't be all like, just like, come on, get up with the, laughing. Wasn't that funny what I just posted? And I get a like, in my head, I'm like, I guess it wasn't funny enough. But now we're judged by what we're putting. But just on that note, if you have a bad day, be honest, but flip it so that at the end they have to like it, or you empower yourself at the end in some way, because you're being honest. Like Angelique, or I don't want to go to the gym today. She did a lot of them where I have a million distractions and I don't want to go to the gym. And David and I are sitting here not wanting to go, but we're going to try to go. So in the beginning, if she didn't say, but we're still going to try to make it work, my post would be a sad. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Twist it at the end.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
You want those loves, likes, laughs.
Yep.
Super important.
Awesome, Cory. Thank you for answering that question. So anyway, guys, I know this has been so useful. I know that a lot of people have taken away a lot. This is a mental muscle, just like everything else. You're going to get to the point where you can't even look at life without seeing a post in your head. And I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. Like, you get so good at this that no matter what you're doing throughout the day, you're like, oh, I should do a post with that. And like, you can't even stop yourself anymore, right? So just be okay, knowing that this is going to be maybe a disaster at first. You're just going to get going, and it's going to become a mental muscle. You're going to get really good at it over time. Okay? So everybody good? Happy? Get on that skinny branch, guys.
All the newbies just post regular funny stuff just to get your people involved. If you've been off Facebook for a while, get involved back on Facebook in different ways first before you even talk about your nutritional lifestyle.
Amen.
Because you don't want people just to think that that's why you're there. Because that's not why you're there. You're there to communicate and connect. That's why you're there.
Yep. All right, guys. So next week we have the lovely and amazing Deanna Falchuk. It is going to be an amazing call. Please make sure that you guys let your teammates know she's going to be on. She is a stunning woman inside and out, and I am so excited to share her with you guys. And let's hear what you took away. So through Facebook, please tag Cory, #TogetherStrongPro, and One Team University, of course, right? Let's get that out. And thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you guys for having me. And it's super awesome that you're doing this, Trisha. So thank you for facilitating this. I think this is amazing. And again, thank you so much for asking me. And for my team over here, that it's 11 o'clock and they're like dying. Thank you for being on. You guys are like, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Cory.
I'm gonna unmute everybody. Please say goodnight, and I'm gonna stop the recording.
Love on everybody.
Thanks, Cory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was nice. That was awesome. #Empire.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.